Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host, Derrick Schommer. No cocktail today, but I do want to cover just a little bit, kind of a status update of since my last video, what's been going on here at the Common Man Cocktail Palace. So first off, what I wanted to do, because I don't think I did it properly in the very first episode of this week, and since I want to put this out first on a Tuesday morning to set up for the Tuesday night episode, we have Justin Hurd, who will be here from, well, he's from New Hampshire, and he's been a fan of the show for many years. I've worked with him in kind of a collaboration for some cocktail logo, or for some logos for our show. We've got a logo that we use for Troll Spank Studios, which is the actual business for Common Man Cocktails, and he's developed that. He's developed a couple different logos for us over the years. Probably the last year and a half or so. Some that didn't get launched, some that will get launched, some that I keep asking him for. But he's, probably our fourth fan that we've had. We've had Curtis, we've had Antonio, we've had Peter Herrera. So that would make number 4, I think, on the show. So just to give you some understanding of his credentials. His credentials are as a fan, primary, first and foremost, I guess. And he's really into microbrews. So this week we're going to do some beer reviews. He brought a whole bunch of beer. And we're going to also mix that up, because it is a cocktail show, with some bourbon cocktails, a couple of these type of videos. I have a collaboration that I'm doing with Gretchen's Bakery that you're going to see probably on Thursday. Thanks to Cynthia for that. She suggested that I talk to Gretchen at Gretchen's Bakery for a YouTube collaboration, and we're going to do that. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be making the Strawberry Patch Cooler, and that's going to be cool. Jennifer designed that recipe. I'll get back to Jennifer's recipe designs in a minute. Also, I know people have been highly requesting a bar tour of everything, and I'm already kind of thinking of how to do it, and like kind of going through, because I don't want to just be like, this is a refrigerator. I like to kind of either not necessarily set it to music, maybe a little bit of free music so I don't get in trouble, but kind of scan different parts of the bar, put up some facts about the bar, what's in specific areas like the rum, the bottles of rum we might have on hand, something like that. But I know everybody's requesting it. It's a lot of work to go through and do that. So I decided I'll put it as a goal for my Patreon subscribers. When we hit 800 when we hit $800 a month in Patreon donations, I will make that video, because that means I'm making money. And right now I'm still burning. I'm still eating through savings. So as an additional status update, I am very surprised at how much work I do. I just don't seem to get as much done as I was hoping to do. I've been putting out a lot of content. You've probably seen home cocktail menu, some of the menu designs and stuff like that. I've been doing a lot of work. It's just not all hitting as hard and as fast as I was hoping it was going to. So it's taking longer than I was hoping. I've got many irons in the forges and the iron in the fires. I don't know how that phrase goes. I'm doing a lot of things, trying to get a bunch of things done at different periods of time. If you want to help us, Patreon is the primarily the easiest way. It's the most reliable way for me. Obviously, if you want to buy stuff on Awesome Drinks, buy it because you need it, not just for the support. If you want to support me, just generate the Patreon subscriptions. Even $3 a month is huge. And it took me, this is going on my 8th year. It took me many years to get used to asking for money, because and I've seen other people I've been working with in the YouTube industry that are like, yeah, I like sponsors because I don't want to beg for money, blah, blah, blah. I try and do a little bit of both, a little bit of begging, a little bit of product, a little bit of, a little bit of everything. But at the end of the day, there's, we do need to be able to cover a lot of the expenses that we have to go through to be able to churn out a lot of the content. I get a good sponsorship deal for one of our EBooks that will be launching probably in the next couple weeks with Cardinal Spirits. So it'll be a free ebook that you could download that has all products using Cardinal Spirits. They've got a coffee rum, a blackberry bramble vodka, and Jennifer's been designing recipes around that. So it's really for them, but you guys get it as well. Obviously, I'd be pushing it, and I'm going to be pushing the products as well, and building some of the recipes on the show. Also, to continue with the Patreon thing for a second, we had my little list here. I had Daniel, Fredericks, Matt Perez, Troy. Troy's one of the names out of here that I see all the time because he comes to the live stream, and you get to know a lot of the fans, which is actually probably the coolest part of the whole community in Common Man Cocktails. something I just never expected to happen. You know, I just decided I was going to put out content. I'm going to make recipes, and it's going to be cool, and maybe I'll get some views. I didn't expect to know people by their first name. Even if it's not always your first name, if it's your handle or whatever it is, to be able to meet and greet and have people on the show, it's pretty cool. Vesa, I'm not going to say Vesa's last name because it's really hard for me to pronounce. Eric from Simply Made Cocktails, you can check him out. You can Google Simply Made Cocktails to find Eric's show. Michael T, Sean McGonigal. Also, you know, we've had him through the page. I think most of these people now have had their Patreon producer credentials thrown across the screen. If not, they will be very soon. The EBooks, back to that for a second. The website is Home Cocktail Menu. I talked about the light rum book that we put out. Jennifer put out the second book, which is 4 bottles of rum, or The Explorations of Rum is the title of the book, that covers 4 bottles of different types of rum. A lot of education went into building that and understanding what are some of the differences in rum. I think that should be made into a video. So I'm working on that in my brain. There's so many things I just love to get done, and there's me, and then Jennifer, obviously building the recipe books, both of us as a team are 100% at this point. So we've got the Explorations of Rum book out there, and some of that rum research that I've also documented so that I can make a video in our newsletter at everydaydrinkers.com/newsletter. Talks all about the different types of rum. We touched a little bit on it when the Rums and Skies were here. But the Explorations of Rum book, I've been trying to put it out in the long form videos, having a little ad so people know it's there, because I'm very bad at being able to market things as the show's going on, because I have so much stuff going on. But if you do want to support us, you can check out our ebooks. We're going to keep pumping those out as we can. It's $14.29 per book. Price is higher than you would buy for a regular book that just somebody who collects a bunch of recipes together. The reason being is that these are curated recipes we've designed and built into sets so that you can, so it's more cost effective to purchase the materials, the 4 rums you need and the ingredients you need. I've put the recipes for the syrups out on Home Cocktail Menu, so you can check those up if you need a vanilla simple syrup, a cinnamon simple syrup, stuff like that. So the value that the book brings, I think, is more important than having a book that has 1,000 recipes in it. I'd love to know your comments on that as well, so you can leave those below. The next book that we'll release will be a free one. It's the Common Man Cocktails Banger Book. I've been working on this for about 2 or 3 weeks. I worked on it for 8 hours last Thursday. 8 straight. I had to get up every now and then. Just building the design, getting the quotes and the photos put in place. Not even the photos for the cocktails. I haven't got there yet. Just the photos for all the submitters. It's going to be 15 recipes, all from our hosts that have been on the show. There's one for Warren. There's one for Doug, or 2 for Doug, 2 for Ian. There's a couple for Peter Herrera has one in there. Antonia has a couple in there. Dan and Jalitha have theirs in there. Basically, it's a culmination. The 15 most important cocktails that Common Man Cocktails can use to say this represents what we've learned and discovered throughout the years. None of these recipes, well, some of them are ours. Some of them are user submissions. And I've sourced each recipe where they came from. Some of them, like Peter's, is his own. Warren's is his own. So people who design cocktails, their recipes might be the ones that they picked. That they said this is a culmination of what I've worked on. Curtis is in there with the ones that he's worked on, his contest winners. So it's going to be a downloadable book that will be the 15 recipes that I think puts a stamp on. This is where cocktails, Common Man Cocktails, has come from 2008 into 2016, and no, there won't be any 2008 recipes in there, but the recipe I chose was almost chosen because it wasn't chosen by anybody else, because there's so many great recipes, and the co-hosts that I've had, Ian and Dan and Curtis, they kind of selected the ones I would have picked, so they're already in there, and then I put one in there that I think is kind of key to both the views we've had on the show and the interest level we've had in the show. So hopefully that'll be out soon. I've just got a couple more things to wrap up. Each recipe will have a quote from the host on why they chose that recipe, and I've got to pull one more quote from Doug and do all the photos and stuff like that. I'm also thinking of taking all those recipes and remaking them in short form videos. I just haven't figured out what exactly to do with that. If I wanted to put it out in a specific playlist, if I wanted to lock it down in Home Cocktail Menu so I have to watch it there to kind of drive traffic there, if I should do like those little YouTube pay-fors and help support the book costs by the ebook cost and the time I put into it by having like little, I haven't done this yet, but like you can apparently buy a single video. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you guys think it's too much for me to be asking for cash to support some of that book? Honestly, you know, if you think it's too much and I'm asking too much, then just write it so that I know what's going on. Last but not least, I mentioned Justin. Jennifer has got in. She will be published in the 75th anniversary of the Moscow Mule recipe book. It's a table book that's going to be coming out. She's got a full page bio and everything. So, you know, mad props to her for that. And that's her first contest entry ever. So, I don't know, that's pretty cool. So hopefully we'll have more because she's able to build that type of reputation so quickly, there'll be more to come in her recipe books and stuff, and more sponsored books, which will be free downloads for you, that will be all recipes she's designed. So if you want to support us, you guys know how. It's Patreon, it's Home Cocktail Menu, and of course you buy things from awesomedrinks.com if you need some gear. That's all I got for today. Now stay tuned for the rest of the week. You'll see me, Justin, building bourbon cocktails, drinking lots of cool beers that are a large variety of beers that I probably will never be able to obtain myself unless I go seeking them out. Other ones that complete discoveries that if I find in the store, I'll be picking up. So stay tuned for more on that. That's it, my friends. We're teaching you how to drink.